Now, Baba, one kind of penultimate question I do want to ask is, and it's more so to kind of get your insight and of how my generation will now look in the future and what our meaning of community will be. And what I mean by that is, growing up now, I've noticed increasingly, and it's something we've spoken about before, that there have been a lack of third spaces. I think we spoke about this in a previous episode. But in order to tackle that now through social media, people my age, they're creating these third spaces. You see chess clubs are starting to become even more rampant than before. You're seeing like pubs are now basically not really being pubs anymore, but more like youthful third spaces where they'll have the football on, but also maybe like an event to keep the young people entertained. There is this desire to have a neighborhood, to have a community, because people feel like that social change helps bring peace as well. Do you think that this desire that my generation has, and who knows, the generation below us might have that same desire eventually as well, do you think that this will actually cause us to maybe change what a good neighborhood means and change that meaning of community? Or do you think that we'll kind of eventually go back in this cycle and end up settling the same way people before us used to settle?
Okay, for example, we have these kind of social clubs, or even the neighborhood we just been, so they had a local tennis club, squash club, and people have local pubs in England, for example, where local community would come in. Of course, there are these social places, people come and they interact with each other, and schools have mums groups, so each kid is going in a... But I noticed strangely though, because when you guys were in primary school and there would be mums clubs for good 15, 16 kids, mums would be meeting each other every 2 weeks or every 4 weeks. But those social clubs don't last as those generational neighborhoods which we saw in our time, because those groups would kind of stick to each other like thick and thin in their difficult times. But what I realize now is that, okay, as long as you have kids in your certain age, so those groups would form and then they would stay for a time being, but over time they will kind of wither away. The same goes for other situations, whether it's club membership or those social groups or certain particular kind of sports you're saying. So you would of course meet people, have a drink or coffee or something else in a club, but that's all it is. I had my tennis partner, for example, Sal. So we would spend good amount of time, as much actually as one of my best friends in my younger age. But it won't kind of translate into having that deep empathy for his personal life or him for my personal life. Whereas it used to be in a different way, very close connection. So whether that kind of close connection is possible in today's age, to be honest with you, I don't think so. I don't think in today's time, especially because you are just a transitional generation, and generations coming after you, they are purely this technology generation, and they are happy with that. They don't want to have any other type of life. It seems like that's what they want. That, okay, they can stay connected through technology and sometime meet up. And they don't want to get intruded much either and stay. I think I see that type of shift in the future. And people would still have some, of course, we are human, we still need people. People would still have maybe a small group of people, a few friends, 1, 2, 4, whatever, which they might kind of still stay very close to. But having that broader sense of community seems to be diminishing. I don't see it's coming back in my view.